Okay, welcome back to the channel. Donnie Ray here. Gonna do 4 albums today. Gonna be a quick video though, but 4 important albums nonetheless. Debut album from Black Sabbath, debut album from Van Halen, RIOT, Fire Down Under, Judas Priest, Stained Class. Reason why I'm doing all 4 of these albums at once is because all 4 of these albums were released this week. So rather than just doing one video per album, I figured I'd squeeze them all together into one happy little video for you. Anyways, let's start off with debut album from Black Sabbath. I mean, seriously, one of the most powerful, one of the most influential debut albums of all time. These guys just came out of nowhere and invented a whole new sound and became the kings of it. You know, so many other albums, so many other bands followed suit. My favorite track on the album, and which is hard to pick one, but obviously the very first song, Black Sabbath. I mean, come on, it doesn't get much better than that. It doesn't get much heavier than that. I mean, what a way to come out. First album, first song. Unbelievable. Production on it was crazy. It was one of the best sounding albums of the 70s by far. And what else can you say about it? I mean, I could go on and on all day about this. Album came out in 1970, February 13th. It was recorded at Regent Sound in London. Just over 38 minutes long, which is pretty standard for those times. Released on the Vertigo album label originally, and Roger Bain produced it. A lot of craziness with Roger Bain. If you want to look into that, it's time for another video if you want to learn more about that. Let's switch gears and go to another insanely debut album from Van Halen. I mean, here we go with another band that came out of nowhere and took charge of the whole music scene. I mean, everybody in the band pulled their weight to make this band one of the biggest bands of all time. But if you have to pick something that stands out, obviously everybody's going to pick Eddie Van Halen. I mean, come on, one of the greatest guitar players ever on the face of the planet. We recently lost him, but you know, he will live on forever. No one will ever forget about this guy. He influenced every guitar player on the face of the planet and will continue to do so. Amazing. Can't say enough about him. I remember all my older friends talking about Van Halen playing up in Hollywood and talking about Eddie, how great of a guitar player he was. And the day the album came out, I went down to the record store, got it, brought it home, and my chin just hit the ground. Unbelievable. Can't say enough about this album as well. Released February 10th, 1978. Recorded at Sunset Sound Recorders in Hollywood. 35-minute album, just over 35 minutes. And obviously we all know Ted Templeton did this for the Warner Brothers label. The recording of this album was just great. How there was very little overdub guitars on it. In other words, there was no backing track, no rhythm playing behind Eddie's solos, which makes them stand out just that much more. If I had to pick a favorite song from this album, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Atomic Punk. I mean, what a screaming song. Yeah, I know it's great to hear Running with the Devil opening track, but seriously, Atomic Punk. Best song on the album. Best song. Alright, moving on. Next album. Judas Priest. Another one of my all-time favorite bands ever. Their fourth studio album, Stained Class. Not stained glass, as a lot of people call it. Stained Class with a C. Phenomenal album, and a lot of talk about this album because of obvious, if you know about the lawsuit where the two kids signed a pact to kill themselves, and they claimed that it was after listening to Better By You, Better Than Me off of that album. The song wasn't even written by Judas Priest. It was originally written by Spooky Tooth, and but they claim that there was hidden subliminal messages in the song that told them to do it, and that's where the lawsuit. One of the kids died, one of the kids lived, and the other kid ended up dying of a methadone overdose like 3 years later. But nonetheless, Judas Priest won the lawsuit. Stupidness. Les Binks, I think this was his last album. Or excuse me, first album, meant to say. Which to me, I'll add to that by saying, if I had to pick a favorite song from this album, which is really, really hard. I mean, Exciter, huge, you know, but Beyond the Realms of Death, which was written by Les Binks, drummer, by the way, in case you didn't know. Phenomenal song. Very rarely played live, except for back then. But nonetheless, my favorite song on the album. Great album. Released February 10th, 1978, the same exact day that Van Halen was released. This one was recorded in London as well. 43-minute album, almost 44 minutes. Released on the Columbia album. Great album. Let's move on to album number 4. Riot, Fire Down Under. Released in '81. One of my favorite bands of the 80s. 37-minute album. So many great songs. Such great performances on this album. Great guitar playing, great songwriting, great vocals. Sadly enough, though, Guy Speranza, this was the last album with him. What can you say about Guy Speranza? Unbelievable. Great singer. Ended up dying of cancer. So many rumors about bad luck with this band out of all the things they've been through. That's a story for another video, though. If you want to hear more about that, let me know. But Fire Down Under album, every song great on it. Even the little thing at the end where they do the flashbacks on it. Very creative. Very cool. But picking a song, favorite song from this album. Another hard one, but the opening track, Swords and Tequila. I mean, Swords and Tequila is, and always will be, I think, one of my favorite songs from the 80s. Great song. Great hook. Great guitar playing. Great vocals. Unbelievable stuff. So, 4 great albums released this week. Riot, Fire Down Under, Judas Priest, Stained Glass, debut album from Van Halen, and a debut album from Black Sabbath. What a week, huh? I mean, imagine 2 albums on the same day, though. That's just craziness. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a thumbs up, a like if you like the video. subscribe to it, please, and share it with your friends. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.